What about when I do this?
Yeah.
Fucked.
Yeah.
It's barely.
Okay.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
10 years old
in there.
when you do that.
Yeah. It's fine. Okay. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm here with Sean Davidson. It's our second guest. I have a few questions lined up for him, which I'm looking forward to. We're just getting going here, and I'm hoping to ask him questions that he hasn't heard before. As you guys know, he's been working on Jobby. He has some new info about that we'll get to, I'm sure, in the next few minutes here. Maybe you want to give them a brief summary of what's been going on with Jobby and the changes coming up in the near future, I guess.
Right. Well, first of all, I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here. I love that you're doing this. This is awesome.
Sure.
But Jobby, so basically, it's been my baby for about 2 years now. We originally wanted to be the Uber for home care, on demand, lawn care on demand, house cleaning on demand, snow removal, just on demand tasks around the house. But we realized with our mentors and just thinking about the idea that it's going to take millions and millions of dollars to implement a good strategy to raise a good level of brand awareness for the company. And so we basically pivoted, and now instead of trying to be the app that everyone uses, we're basically selling the software. We're enabling companies like a lawn care company to have a mobile app to make life easier for them in terms of their background, business operations,
Okay.
and for the customer.
I can relate to pivoting, by the way. We pivoted so many goddamn times since it started, so I get it, man. It's going to be lots of changes. Okay, so let's start with the first question for you.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so I personally am fascinated by what triggers people to make turnarounds in their lives. And I know people make turnarounds all the time, and they all have their own reasons. And I think that when you really get to the heart of what the reason is, it's normally something pretty significant. Or it's just, hey, one day I woke up and I decided to change my life. You know?
Right.
So, was there a moment? Was it a series of events? What is it that got you to kind of transform essentially what I used to know you as to
Right.
Sean Davidson?
Right. It's a great question. I think it goes back to when I was younger, like being the youngest kid, playing with my brother and his older friends. Like I was the weakest, I was not the fastest, and so basically from day one I was just like, man, like life's tough. I gotta work my ass off to be the best. And like, I mean, I've everything that I enjoyed doing and wanted to do, I've always tried to be the best at it. It wasn't, I don't see it as, I get what you're saying, I get your question. I don't see it as a transformation for me. I see it as I keep leveling up in a sense.
Okay.
Like it's weird, like internally in my brain it's like every 3 months, every 4 months I'll get to this point where it's like, okay, now I'm gonna go, I've been working a lot, now I'm gonna go take a break for about a week or a couple days, and then but when I get back it's like a whole different level of
What do you mean
work
by
ethic.
leveling up? Because I say that all the time. Sometimes I'll call DMs
Right.
like, hey man, I just level up. And it's just out of the blue. And
Right.
I'm amazed that you use that same terminology that I use. So like, what does it mean to you, leveling up?
Just like taking the time to just like step back and reflect on your life, your business, whatever you're working on, and just strategically and look at it strategically and what you can implement going forward to just get better. Whether that's, I mean, let's generalize it, faster, quicker, stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just those small little things.
The way I relate to it is when I level up, normally it happens right after a super stressful event. Like I'll have a client that I really expected to close, and I'm already writing down the list of shit I'm gonna buy with my commission. Like I'm ready to revolutionize the whole game, and all of a sudden I'll get a call. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to somebody else for some stupid shit. And normally about 24 hours after a moment like that, I'll be in my car, or maybe I'll just be in the shower, I'll be at the gym, and I feel literally like I just leveled up. Like almost like I just outgrew a certain emotional state. This thing I expected to hurt me more, and all of a sudden it doesn't hurt me anymore. And then I feel like I build like a thicker skin to like future events, and it's probably happened like 5 to 10 times in the last year. And every time it happens, I feel like it would make entrepreneurs, people like us, more tolerant to things that would normally shake people up. Like for example, things that bother you now, like if it were to really get under your skin, imagine how serious something would have to be to really get under your skin nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Because of how hardened you've been because of business.
Right.
Well, it wasn't always like that. and you had to have, by my definition, leveled up many times
Right.
to get to that point. You know, it's like a level of emotional resistance, because the opposite is somebody who, you know, they're going to an appointment and they forgot their pen, and for that reason it's the end of their business.
Yeah.
They quit. Being an entrepreneur is way too hard.
Right.
How could they ever substitute their pen, because this is their lucky pen and now everything is written, and that's literally the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like the opposite. Anyways, so that's the way I kind of see the comparison. But
No, I agree.
I think that kind of on that same note, would have learned a lot of stuff since you started in business, and if you could go back and talk to yourself when you first started in business,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what kind of advice would you give to yourself to help you kind of fast track this kind of chaos that you've experienced so far?
I would tell myself to probably a lot of things I would tell myself, but specifically I would tell myself to just chill out, relax. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
you're gonna put in the work, you're gonna do it. Like, if you continue to put in the work, the hard, the smart work, you surround yourself with smart people, like I've been doing, like I'll continue to do. Like, it's just a fact of inevitability that it's gonna happen. And so, like, I was 18 when I first dove into business.
Yep.
And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be driving a Lambo when I'm 22. Like,
What would you say to people who say, but it's not inevitable? What do you say to them?
who?
Just some random person.
Are they saying it to me, or?
Yeah, they're saying it to you. Like, what if they say, well, how can you just say, relax, it's inevitable? How do you know it's inevitable? What do you say to that?
Well, the asshole side of me would laugh in their face.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have boatloads of confidence. I have a little bit of ego
Mhm.
that I try not to hold me back, but bring me forward in good ways. I just know, like, I put in the time, and therefore I know it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe, like, there's belief, there's confidence. I kid you not, like, this is what I do. Like, I don't go out. I do things that are only.
I know your lifestyle. You're committed.
I only do things that are beneficial to me,
Mhm.
and that's why I know.
The reason why I asked that really pointed question is because I had a sticking point there when I was thinking, well, I'm so convinced, and I try to tell people, and they're like, well, how do you know? And it's like, well, actually, I like operating under the assumption that it's inevitable, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I can defend it, I think, is if they say, well, how do you know? I'll say, well, what if I'm wrong? Does that mean that I should work less, hard, that I should be less, intense because I could be wrong?
Right.
Who cares? I guess I'll just find out. The only thing I can do now is assume that I'm right, and then at least work at 100%. Like, what if you're right, and then you work at 98 because you think maybe you're not right, and then you fail because of that reason? Like, I don't want to be the reason why I fail. So I'd rather work at 100 and then let the variables out of my control
Mm-hmm.
be the reason why I go down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, and it's not to say like success is everything.
Mm.
Like, I'm enjoying every minute of it, but it's like I just, again, boatloads of confidence.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you have this is completely not on my list, I just thought of it right now. Do you have like a little list of people in the back of your mind, always, that you know are watching you to see you fail and not to see you succeed?
No, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Why are those people wasting their time
Mhm.
about that?
Okay, so let me answer it, and I'm not above that, okay?
Okay.
I do have that list. 100%, I do. And I know where you're coming from.
Right.
It's like a yin and yang, and you're above it.
Right.
I know that's where I want to be, but I don't operate there all the time. A lot of the times I can be there,
Yeah.
but I do have a little list in my head, and I think, like, I found a way to harness it, at least in a good way, where I just take them. I can't fucking wait to show you.
Yeah.
I know you should do it for yourself, but like, I'm
Okay.
human, and like part of me has like a little list, and I'm just
Right.
like, yo, just wait. And I'm not gonna come tell them they're wrong. Like, I promise you, I won't be that kid who comes
Yeah.
back and is like, oh, I showed you. No. Because if I do it right, they're just gonna find out, and I won't even have to fucking tell them.
Right. Okay, let me backtrack. I may not have a list,
Okay.
but I mean, there's a few figures that are in my life, or previously in my life, that it's like, I can't wait to prove you wrong. And not to be cliche, but like, for example, high school teachers. Like,
Oh, I get it.
You know what I mean? And same thing with you. I'm not gonna pull up in my whatever I'm driving that day and
Yeah, and say, oh, I
look
got
at
you.
me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
because that's not on your mission.
yeah.
You gotta be on your mission.
And like sticking with the high school thing, like we were young, like we're still growing, we're kids, you know what I mean? Our futures were not known back then.
Okay, so I take it that if you were to think of like your role models and your influences, you wouldn't put teachers right now in your life there.
There was a few that definitely impacted my life.
Oh yeah.
Specifically with basketball, as you probably know.
Oh yeah.
But that's about it.
Right. Okay. So outside of school, then I guess, who would be your biggest influences right now, whether it be friends or public figures that are helping you steer yourself going forward?
There's a lot. Like, I try to surround myself with the best people like-minded, like you. We've been hanging out a lot lately.
It's been a blast. Yeah.
You're one of them. Steven keeps me going. Like, I wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't even be close where I am today if it wasn't for Steven.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's a genius. He's gonna even if he wasn't my business partner, he was gonna be successful because he's got it. Rob, like he's been working for 10, 11 years at the same thing. Like he's getting
Rob
to the,
inspires me.
yeah, he's getting to the point of mastery, and he's only 25. Like that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I like watching.
You know this, if we're talking public figures like a Gary V,
Mm-hmm.
Grant Cardone. I recently read both Elon Musk's biography and also one of Richard Branson's, and I mean, those guys are incredible. Besides the fact that they're billionaires, they are just incredible human beings in the way, in terms of like how they approach life and how they impact not only their lives but everyone else's.
Do you pick your friends in your circle of influence based on specific skill sets that they offer to you? I do, by the way. Just
Yes.
yeah. And could you actually go through a list of your closest friends right now and say, this one gives me this one gives me this one gives me this?
I could 100% do that.
Yeah.
And that's not to be construed as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm just.
I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
No, it's not. It's
what
not
I think would be if somebody were to deny the fact that they're getting something from that friendship. Like, don't lie about it.
Right.
Like, there's a mutual benefit.
Yeah.
And there must be something in it for them too to be friends with you. That's
100%.
That's relationship. It's supposed to be reciprocal.
That's what it is. To your question,
Mhm.
yes. The answer is yes. Like, I don't know if I should go into detail because
No, I think it's probably
a
personal
little
stuff.
personal, but
Yeah.
like 100%, especially with the three guys that I roll with every day.
Maybe with public figures it's easier to go more detailed because it's not as personal.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it for me, and then maybe you can take a second to think about.
Sure.
For Grant Cardone, I love his swagger. I love his old man swagger.
Yeah.
I think it's so important.
What is he,
in
like
sales.
56?
It's like 50. I don't know. I don't want to get quoted wrong, but he's in his 50s,
Yeah.
if not late 40s. No, I think he's in his late 50s. He may even be like 60, like 59.
He's close.
But he looks like younger than me. He's actually fucked. Okay, so there's Grant Cardone. He got swagger,
Yeah.
sales skills, and I actually been developing over time. I've been kind of admiring his relationship with Elena. I think that he's one of the few power couple, like true power couples.
Right. That's
Because
impressive.
because he's actually introduced her into the business, and
Mm-hmm.
I like Gary Vee because he kind of reminds me that it's okay to be unfiltered and just let it rip, you know. And people will excuse your mistakes because they're being authentic. You know, they don't expect perfection if you're unfiltered. They would rather you be imperfect and unfiltered because they feel like they can trust you. I trust Gary Vee, not because he says beautiful, kind things, but because I think he's not manipulating people. Because he doesn't take the time to manipulate people. He just thinks and says.
Right.
It's like one motion. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins I like because he's like a spiritual dude. He makes me think positive. And Jordan Peterson in particular, I just think that, you know, he's a good example of how academia can still make you succeed. And I think I went too far to the extreme, and I thought that you know, academia is just shit for everybody. Because I was just on some kick like, leave school, like fuck school. You know.
Yeah.
But Jordan Peterson's, you know, he's doing well, and it represents that academia could work.
I haven't dove much into Jordan Peterson's content, but like a lot of my friends talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
and they say he does wonders for just like opening up your mind in terms of just like personal self-awareness and just emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
What was your question again exactly?
Yeah. Well, like for example, go through the list of people that are public figures.
Yeah.
And why do you listen? Like, why do you listen to Gary Vee?
Gary Vee,
Yeah.
basically because like that's all I do. Like either I'm reading or I'm watching YouTube, and then like 95% of the time it's Gary Vee. Gary Vee specifically, just because like he is a CEO, he's an entrepreneur. He has done basically what I want to do. He is
A lot of people saying that.
he is who I want to be, basically. Like he's doing so many things that it's insane. But just basically, like, I mean, he runs a $150 million business downtown New York. He has multiple locations in LA and London, and he's just living the life the way he wants to, and he's impacting not only, again, his lives, but his employees' lives, his family lives. And yeah, like his confidence, his bravado, his swag. He wears whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He now has his own shoe, his own signature shoe.
I know.
Which is
It's awesome.
I'm super jealous about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Vee. Quick list. It's probably a weird list. Elon Musk, Gary Vee, LeBron James, Drake, and Kanye West.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kanye. Why Kanye?
Kanye because he's definitely not afraid to say
That's why I
what's on
love
his
Kanye.
mind.
That's why I love Kanye.
And because I think he's just a creative genius. Like, yeah.
Okay. Here's probably the most detailed, probably deep question I have for you.
I'm ready for it.
So imagine that I go back in time and I ask somebody in high school, one of your, somebody who knew you, that you spoke to regularly, maybe not a really close friend, but you spoke to regularly, and I would ask them to describe you, if I go back in time, based on what they knew about you at that time, okay? Now, how would they be wrong about you in compared to who you are today?
If I understand you correctly,
Yeah.
I would say maybe my future outlook on life and my potential.
Yeah, I think you understand the question. Correct.
Because I don't know if we're looking particularly at high school. Like I was a jock. I was a basketball guy, sports guy. That's all I really cared about. I was very.
Is that really true? Because I don't think I dubbed you as being that simple.
No.
No, I thought you were more complex than that. I didn't understand it, but I didn't think it was simple. I just thought I didn't understand you.
I don't know. I think everyone's individually weird, and
Well, that's for sure.
I was just
for sure.
I was just weird, and I did my own thing. Like I didn't stay. I mean, I lived close to the school, but I didn't stay for lunch at the cafeteria. I went home every day. Like I just stuck to myself, kind of.
I just went to the music room and played the piano.
Yeah, I mean,
Cried about.
I don't
relationship
know.
shit.
Could you help me answer the question?
I mean, I have my idea, but
Right.
I'll try. I think that.
Wait. I just think along the lines of, like, I hate school. School's not my thing. I don't like being a student in the general sense of, like, the way the educational system is now. But I would say definitely people would just downplay my potential just because I wasn't the best student.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 2 points about that. I mean, that sparked something. So, okay, one, to answer it, I think that a lot of people wouldn't give you credit for actually being able to think big because you kept it to yourself. And
Yeah.
sometimes people, they misinterpret somebody who keeps their shit to themselves as somebody who doesn't have something going on.
Right.
And actually, those people should be respected more because they're not talkers, they're doers. I would rather somebody who's doing it and nobody knows about it than somebody who's just been talking and they have nothing to show for it since day one. So, like, I think people have, miscategorized you. At least they did, back then. And maybe you're still kind of making up for it. And then in means of, like, with the grades, I came to the conclusion, I don't know when, maybe a couple years ago, that maybe I'll change your mind again, we'll see, that grades are not a representation of intelligence, they're a representation of how much you give a shit about school. And people who really care about school get good grades.
Oh.
And people who don't give a shit about school get bad grades. And I know there's people that have been, there's exceptions, right? Some people really can't get good grades because of, but for the most part, if you gave a shit, you would put in twice as much time to get good grades. And I don't think that high school is that difficult that you can't get a 90 or an 80 if you put in 6 hours a day. But people just don't care about it that much. So it's not a sign of intelligence.
No,
It just means you didn't give a shit about school.
I 100% agree because I mean, with that, like I proved to myself early on if I actually tried, I would get those marks.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I knew I was capable of doing it, and so it's just not what I wanted to do, so I didn't do it, in a sense.
Yeah, and I saw both sides, because in high school it came pretty naturally to me. I got, I finished with 92, 93 average, but I got to university and it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And like, to get an 80, to get a 90, I would put in 5-6 hours a night.
Right.
And that didn't make me more intelligent than the person who didn't put in 5-6 hours. It just means I gave a shit. I put in a lot of hours.
Yeah, by the way, like, I was pretty much the same way through college as well. Like, I went to college 3 years, finished, graduated, all that shit. I didn't enjoy it, because I wish I was actually doing what I'm doing right now, because that would have been fine. But I actually had a teacher one time tell me exactly what you said. He's like, because I was asking him about a group project that we did bad on, and he was basically like, he said, you realize that your marks are a good evidence of how your outlook on life is going to be in the future in terms of your business endeavors and stuff like that. Like, that's what he said. He said, my grades are correlated with my business success. And like, you don't even know how I felt after that. Like, obviously I'm a nice guy. I was just like, yeah, whatever. But fuck, like, fuck that guy.
I can just feel you enraged.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pivot so we don't
let's
flip the couch. So we flip the couch. Okay, short question.
Yeah.
What's your focus for 2018?
What's my focus for 2018? Doubling the sales for RMS Glass, which is my dad's company,
Mm-hmm.
and gathering 3 to 5 customers for JTC, Jobby Technology Corp.
And what is your plan to do that?
What's
How do
our
you plan to execute that?
Me and Steven, every day working at it. We know, along the lines of RMS Glass, we know who our ideal customer is.
Mm-hmm.
We have a flow chart of potential, prospects, and so right now we're in the process of developing and just fine-tuning our sales presentation, our sales process, right from the start of the phone call to the end of the sale they sign.
Yeah, it's key.
We're working on that, and in terms of Jobby, we're it sucks because I tried to have a meeting the last 2 Sundays. Because of the weather, we got snowed out, and so we had to keep pushing the meeting. So hopefully this Sunday we have a meeting.
Yeah.
But basically, just I'm just gonna give the guys a quick overview of what we're doing, and we really need to implement a strategy to help us actually finish the software and the app, so we can actually get customers.
Got it.
So basically, we need to just build the dev team. We need more.
Yeah.
We need more programmers. If you're a programmer, hit me up.
You do programming, right?
Yeah. You.
A little bit. Doug?
I can build apps.
Yeah. Well,
Simple stuff.
Good to know.
He's like, what's in it for me? Am I getting paid?
Good to know.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know
okay.
Doug. I know Doug now. Okay. Got it. I mean, in summary, I'm ready to launch my brand. I really want to multiply big time in clientele, reach 200K income in a year.
200K.
200K
You?
income. Yeah.
2018?
I set a goal for 300. I know I can reach 300. That's my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is actually 300, but I know I can do. I think I can break it down to 200 in finance.
Yeah.
And then 100 through other things like real estate and e-commerce, because I want to start drop shipping and stuff like that
Right,
too.
right.
I'm working on all that.
That's amazing. You think you can get 200? I'm not saying you can't,
Yeah.
but there's like you see it happening.
Yes.
Wow.
I think I could have it before the end of the summer,
Nice.
but I also could have $0 at the end of the summer. That's just the way business rolls. And if it happens,
That's
you know
just
what?
the way it goes.
If it happens,
Yeah.
I'll just roll up in a Jag, and if I don't, I'll just be in the accent. It'll be pretty simple. It's binary.
Yeah,
You'll know, you know.
exactly.
And the good thing is, if I do it, great, on to the next. And if I don't, then I'll just continue to try to get it done. Like, I don't see the downside. I just keep doing what I like to do,
Yeah.
and if I succeed, then I'll move to the next level. And if I don't, then I'll just keep fucking doing it because I enjoy it anyways.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't see it as like. I think people get so down on like setting big expectations and then coming up short. To me, it's way more sad to have a low expectation and not have a reason to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Mhm.
Like, I can justify getting up for a goal that I can't reach potentially because that's fun. I can't justify getting up 9 to 5. I mean, this is ever to each their own, but to something that doesn't make me feel like it's, you know, worth living for every day. Even if I succeed at that, I'm not fulfilled. That's more scary than coming up short on a massive goal for me.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know, that's just the way. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of controversy in that too. Like, I think people got shit to say about that, but that's just the way I see it. Okay, I think that a lot of people, when they start going in business, end up spending less time with certain people in their life because they're in business. Family members, friends, you know, whatever it is. And it's tough sometimes, you know. How can you justify, well, first, that's true to you too, right? That you spent some less time with some people because of business?
That is correct.
Okay.
But at this point in time, I'm starting to reverse it. Like, exactly what you're saying, like, whether it was with basketball or even just working out or business, like, I would always, I have something in my mouth.
Yeah, you're a little fuzzy there.
A little fuzzy. I would always, I'd rather allocate my time to this instead of, I don't know, going to the grocery store with my mom, spending time with her. But now I'm starting to do that because I know, like, I'm putting in the work again, I'm putting in the work over here. So I need to just relax my mind and do these things.
So what about the people you haven't given the time back to? One, are you okay with that? And two, how do you justify that if you are okay with it?
I'm okay with it because I know my thing, and I'm selfish about that. I think everyone should be selfish towards their goals. The way I justify it is the fact that, we're gonna live another 70 to 80 years, so we have time. We have time to do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, I see that, and I think that's another thing that people will just be bothered by. Like, oh, there's all this time. Like, oh, you spend time with me later, why not now? Like, it's so selfish. Like,
yeah, I know.
What do you mean it's selfish? I just don't see it. I don't see it being that selfish. I think that if I really cared for these people, then I would make sure that I'm in a position that I can actually provide for them.
No, that's exactly where I'm at right now. And what's allowing me to start doing this more and
Doug, is that cord in the way?
Huh?
That cord in the way?
No.
Okay.
No, he's tripping out.
That's pretty dead. I had a stroke.
You're crapping out the production.
No, that's good. He's good.
It's good. I want to frame up with the cord, man.
He's falling asleep back there.
Yeah, okay, we're good. Jump in.
What was I saying? I don't even know. I forgot.
Okay, well, it was about working on yourself so you can provide for people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like, that's the first ultimate goal for me is to, because this is a side thing. I think money is stupid and just like we have to have it to have a life, and it's not everything. Blah blah blah.
That could be a whole show.
Yeah, that's a whole show. That's why I just said
that's
blah,
a
blah,
big
blah.
one.
I skipped over that, but like, yeah, like financial freedom is the goal, so I can allow, I don't know. I just want to live the life I want to live.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I like things that cost a lot of money, and I want to do things that cost a lot of money. It's just financial freedom.
Well, I don't think it's yeah, I agree with you, by the way. Pretty much everything you just said, actually everything. The only thing I would add to is, like, about it being unfortunate, the things that you want are a lot of money. I think that's kind of out of your control because that's only a lot of money because a lot of people want it, and then increased in value because of that, you know, like. See, I like how Grant Cardone says it's your ethical duty to become successful, because if you really cared about your family and your loved ones, then you wouldn't just talk about it. You wouldn't just become a politician, a talking head, just talking about it. You would actually put yourself in the position to do something about it.
Right.
You know, I think that's so key, and that's why I have so much respect for any entrepreneur. Like, us linking up was inevitable, but I think it was like, I would feel like less of a man if I didn't even like think about it. You know, like, I know you were thinking about it, right?
Yeah, of course.
But if you were in the place where you just didn't want to link up with other entrepreneurs, what kind of mental place are you in where you don't respect somebody else trying to elevate their life?
Yeah.
Like, how dark of a place are you in to not want to respect people elevating themselves?
That's a really bad place, and like, being a competitive person, I was like that in a sense.
Yeah.
But now that I've kind of matured more, it's like, at the end of the day, we all want to have a good life.
Yeah, and acknowledging our dark sides is fair too. Like, even if I reach out to somebody like you, right?
Yeah.
Or I intend to reach out to, you know, people like Rob or Victoria Morris and all these people. Like, when you see somebody really doing well,